I'm going to just speak a little bit about smart snacking. So snacking can be very difficult. First of all, we all really do need snacks during the day. Everybody's meals look very differently. So sometimes people like to have what they call 6 small meals, which are essentially 6 larger snacks, all being very cognizant of the foods that they're choosing for these snacks or for these small meals, or do 3 meals and then 2 snacks. Sometimes 3 snacks. It's really easy to go into a store and grab some chips or grab something that's highly processed and just not that good for us. But putting that time investment ahead, putting things in the refrigerator that are already cut, cutting them up earlier in the week, just having it available so that it's easier for you to prepare and have for a snack is super helpful. It's going to be very important in helping us make better choices. I had this little glass container, and on Mondays we cut up peppers, we cut up cucumbers, we cut up carrots, and they go in there. But doing this with vegetables, just making sure we always have this, whether it's for my kids' dinner, just having some cut up vegetables, or for their snacks, or for myself for snacks, having a good dip in there that's healthy. I love pairing a fruit or a vegetable with protein or a healthy fat. So I love doing it with hummus, with Greek yogurt. You can make your own homemade dressings as a dip. These are all really good snacks to have, making sure we have them available. It's super easy to go grab a bag of chips, a chocolate bar, but in the end, that's not going to be the smart choice. And making sure that we have these things available in our refrigerator, that is going to be the smart choice. I'm telling you, you will feel so much better, and it will also just help your metabolism, help your eating for meals, and we'll just feel so much better about ourselves. I am making a Moroccan carrot salad. I love having what they call mezza salad. So mezza is small plates, and it's a very like Mediterranean thing. If you'll go to a Mediterranean restaurant, you'll sometimes see it'll give you like little bowls of these small salads. So I love to have those in my fridge. And I learned this from my in-laws. They always have a tomato salad, a kohlrabi salad, a cucumber salad, carrot salad in their fridge. And it's something they always know they'll have for any meal that they need. So what you want to do with your carrots, you can either shred your carrots. I don't like to buy the pre-shredded carrots. I find they get really mushy. The dressing of this definitely like moistens it up a bit, but you want to cut your carrots really thin. You can shred them as well, but it's obviously a little bit more time consuming, but I just decided to cut them very thin with a knife. The reason you want them thin is because you do want them to get a little bit softer from this dressing, which I'll show you at the end. So I cut my carrots very thin. You're going to take about 4 carrots to either shred them or cut them very thin. So I have my carrots in here. The next thing we're going to do is you want to take a good high quality olive oil, just because you are not cooking this and you're going to have the flavor. So I love the Graza olive oil, but you can use any, and you're going to do about a tablespoon or so of olive oil. And afterwards, you're going to want to mix this with your hands, or preferably with a glove. There's a lot of carotene in carrots, which is why they have the orange color, and they can really stain your hands for a bit. Also, people who eat a lot of carrots can end up finding that their like fingertips will get orange because of that as well. It's not bad for you, but it's usually an unpleasant thing. So you should just try to cut back on carrots, sweet potatoes, things like that.
Eat some green vegetables and orange ones.
So I have olive oil, my carrot. Then you're going to take the juice of a lemon. I squeezed out a lemon. I always like to use fresh lemon juice, but if you want to use the container one, you can. This is going to also just help give a really nice flavor and also nicely soften up the carrots. We don't want them to be cooked, but we want them to kind of soften up a bit. So we put the juice of 1 lemon. I'm going to do my salt and pepper last. Then we're going to use some cumin. Not everybody loves it. I happen to love it. I don't love it in everything. I happen to love it on vegetables. And I love it in the salad. It's a very big spice used in Morocco. So you're going to find it in a lot of Moroccan dishes. If you don't love it, you really can leave it out. But I think it's such a delicious spice that there's a lot of antioxidants, and it's really delicious. It calls for a teaspoon, but you can use as little or as much as you want. So we've had that in. Now we're going to add some paprika, and this is just going to darken up the carrots a bit. So again, another like a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half of paprika. And again, I'm going to put all this together at the end. Now I'm going to use my salt and pepper. So there's some salt and some pepper. And then I'm going to take my glove, and you're going to give this a good mix. And preferably, you don't want to eat this right away. You want to let this chill in the refrigerator. Carrots, there's a lot of fiber in them. And so you want to let them kind of soak in some of like that sauce, some of the flavor. You can add some more spices if you want. You'll see like this, all these spices are on my hand. After you chill it. And before you serve it, you're going to add some parsley, which I'm not going to do right now, but you'll see. So I like to put my little salads in these little bowls, and I like to put them on my table when I have guests. put them in these little bowls. So I do like some of these more mezza, these small plates, these small types of salads, and they're really just super easy. They're delicious, they're healthy, and very good for this spring, summer weather that we're having.
Really good way to eat the rainbow too. If you have multiple
Yes.
salads, you can mix and match and eat what you're into that day.
This recipe was named after a pope. So I'm doing this recipe, but instead of putting ham and things like that the traditional way, I'm doing more of a veggie. So I'm going to start off with some shallots that I have started to brown right now. I put this with a little bit of olive oil, a tiny bit of butter. I have 2 types of mushroom. Also, I have some asparagus here that I'm going to add to the pot. I just want to show you exactly how to cut the asparagus. Then we're going to hand our asparagus and we're just going to snap it. And where it snaps, that we're going to put that in our bowl. And then we're just going to cut them in like diagonal pieces. So we're just going to do that again. Done. Put in the compost heat. And then we can add the asparagus to this also. Does call for ham, so I'm actually making it a lot different than what the original recipe is, but we're making it a healthier version. We're going to put some peas. You can use fresh peas. I'm actually going to be using frozen right now because it cooks quicker. Now at this point we're going to add some fresh garlic. Now let that saute for a few minutes. After this is done, we're actually boiling water for our pasta right now. And salt and pepper. I'm boiling some vegetable stock in mine, a little bit of veggie stock. So you can add. And also you have to save some pasta water. I save some pasta water because this will water it down. Originally I used cream. I decided the second one I'm not going to use cream. I'm just going to leave it the way it is with the pasta water because I thought it was just delicious.
The pasta water is so interesting because it has starch in it, so it makes it like saucy in a different kind of way.
It makes it like a little thicker, and you put like a little bit of palm cheese in there. I'm going to let that cook for 2 minutes. And while I'm doing that, I'm doing a salad dressing of the week. I'm going to make a red wine basil vinaigrette. So I have my ingredients here. I'm actually going to double. I'll be guesstimating. So I'm going to put the olive oil in. I've got a nice good olive oil. We're going to use the shallot. Let me just cut the shallot in half so it doesn't give me a hard time.
And then you can just throw the halves in there.
When we're talking about fresh ingredients, there's so much sugar in some of these salad dressings that we're buying in the shop that we really have to keep that in mind. And this is also very good for a marinade. Definitely a good one to have. We're going to put our fresh basil. If you smell this fresh basil, it is
oh my God,
so good.
That's such a good smell.
Yep. And then I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. If you don't want to use the red wine vinegar, you can use apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to guess 1, 2. Oh, I actually doubled my recipes. It's good to have a good salad dressing in the fridge, made, and it does last for 2 or 3 days. And a spoonful of honey. I'm just going to put it in a bowl so everyone can see.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's so springy, so green.
I know, right? Spring is coming. I want to be springy. I'm going back and forth, but I want it just to cook off a little bit. You feel these nice flavor browning, beautiful.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I'm just going to add a little pasta water now.
And you just eyeball that.
I've done it earlier, so I roughly know like what it is, but it depends how much pasta you have. Honestly, if you're using like half a packet, just a touch, because you want it to stretch over the pasta. At this point, I could absolutely put in the cream, but this has so much flavor because I use stock to do the pasta in, so it really gives it nice flavor. There's salt, pepper, you have shallots in there, you have fresh garlic, so there's more than enough. So if you wanted to have it a fettuccine, it's like a fettuccine pasta this, you can add cream. We're only using a very little bit of cream. However, I'm going to leave it like this. I don't need the cream in it. I'm just going to leave it as it is and put it over the pasta. And then at the end of it, I'm going to show you my after. This is my after. Pasta with the asparagus, the peas, grated Parmesan cheese with fresh basil.
That's so pretty.
And also we're going to put a little bit of palm cheese on it. I wanted to do this so it didn't melt at the time. And then also a little bit of lemon zest. So just a little bit of zest. No lemon juice, just the zest. And then to top it off, I made a rainbow salad. It's a mandarin and spinach. And the water of the week is fresh basil, lemon, and cucumber. You know, I'm a big fan of cucumber water.